Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the end of the first full week of November, November the 8th. And I hope you've had a great week. This week's been pretty exciting in the market front, hitting all-time highs. And we're off of that just a little bit right now, but not by much. And so thank you for joining us today. Dave will be with us here in just a few minutes. We got some more earnings coming through, a little bit of economic news, not much. And again, I want to thank you for joining us. If you like what we're doing here, please like our page at Statler Financial Services and share this with your friends and neighbors. We'll be back in just a moment.
5.7 Light FM. Hey, it's Dave. It's 8:41 now, 19 before 9. Time to check it on your money. See how Wall Street's treating your IRA and 401k this morning. We got a week full of record highs. All three indexes set a record again yesterday during their trading day. Let's head downtown and see what's going on this morning. Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Phillip Statler is on the telephone. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. Hey, doing well today. We're finishing up the first full week in November, and I got to say, it's been a pretty good week this week as far as the markets are concerned.
Boy, it sure looks like party week out there. I mean, we're sitting there, another set of records. This time, all three indexes, S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ, all set all new high, all-time highs, at least during the day yesterday. I'm not 100% sure the S&P was at a closing high, but still, 3,085. That's nosebleed territory for the Standard & Poor's 500, even if it is a couple of tenths short of a closing record.
Well, it really is. Talk about party time. Unfortunately, the retailer party time, it didn't do so well this week, but the market sure did.
That's true. Kind of my lead lighter side story was Party City got hammered yesterday, of course. You mentioned that off of their earnings. They put out a guidance clarification overnight saying our biggest problem is a helium shortage, which it's just one of those things that kind of makes your head explode, but it does give you it does give an illustration about how one industry's woes can turn into another industry's headaches. I mean, who'd have thought that a mining issue basically would end up taking down a party retailer, but it actually did help do that.
Yeah, it did, and there is a shortage in helium, and that is true. And so, they blow up a lot of balloons with helium. And so if you don't have it, you can't blow up the balloons. That's something you can't sell.
Understood. It's just about one of the things that you kind of sit back and say, oh, wow, never thought of that, unless, of course, you were in the business in your Party City, and then all heck breaks loose. Other tidbits going on today. We got a boatload of reports on a relatively quiet day as far as government data dumps are concerned. I think we're going to get some mortgage information a little later on today, but otherwise, we're just basically going to respond to the markets and respond to the companies that are reporting their quarterly earnings, I gather.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. Next week I think we'll have a few more things coming out on economic front. But today it's just finishing up some earnings. I mean, when we're getting down to, I won't say the tail end, but they're definitely getting fewer and fewer every day. Today I think the total was somewhere in the 60s that came out today. So, and we've got a good group of them that are popular household names like Walt Disney.
Let's hear what Disney did, because there's a whole bunch of different moving parts going on that, because they're starting a streaming service that folks can be optimistic or pessimistic on, depending upon your outlook.
That's true. And Walt Disney did well last quarter. They beat by 12 cents a share. Revenue also beat the forecast. They said it boosted by 52% the increase in their studio entertainment revenue. So that was a huge increase in their box office performance.
They had a couple of blockbusters this year from the studios, and as far as the streaming services that are debuting over the next year, Disney's one of the ones that's expected to do well, because they were able to bring in all the stuff they got the rights on and make it an exclusive to Disney, kind of leaving Netflix and Apple and all the rest of the new streaming services going, oh, what are we going to do now? So this is going to be an interesting thing to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And the stock's getting some love today. It's up 5.75% this morning.
They're right toward the top of my big winner list so far this morning as well. Other indications?
So, yesterday we talked about some of the travel stuff, some travel websites like Expedia and Travelocity. So we got Booking Holdings, which is the Priceline holding company. They came in and beat by a little over $1 a share, looking good there. The operators' revenue came in a little bit below forecast, kind of like everybody else. And just like everybody else yesterday, they kind of curtailed their current quarter earnings estimates, and so below what everybody was looking for. So they're trading down 8% today.
Ouch. That was not a good bit of news. I
No,
noticed that Duke Energy reported. Did you have their numbers?
I did not. It wasn't on my tip sheet today.
On my summary, I didn't get the absolute numbers, but they had kind of that same story down the line. Their profit was up, but their revenue was off a little bit. So they're getting hammered a little bit in the market ahead of time as well, which kind of surprises me with a regulated utility, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I think this was it Chesapeake or somebody else that had some issues this week too. So I'm not sure what's really driving that force, other than maybe we're all become more conservative and they're not selling as much power.
Now, Chesapeake, on the other hand, has a prospecting division. I looked at that. They've got some oil and mineral prospecting divisions that were hammered, and they're under a major debt load with Chesapeake. That was what creamed them. And they actually had to issue a going concern statement on their quarterly report, which got them down under $1 a share. They lost like 40% yesterday.
Oh my, that's a big deal, and a going concern. A concern is an issue. You know, that means they're going to be a target to be bought out or just close up shop.
Yeah, because the next step on that, if nobody buys you out generally, is then you list your assets as far as what its liquidation value would be. And nobody likes seeing something like that in the energy industry.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Not
Hey,
at all.
on another earnings front, we've got two gaming companies come out: Activision, Blizzard, and Take-Two Interactive. Both reported earnings. Activision beat by 9 cents a share. Revenue was above estimates. They saw some record growth in their World of Warcraft, the classic game that they've come out with, but they're still down, and I think they're down 2.3%, and I think that down is coming from some information coming from Take-Two Interactive. They beat on earnings, and they beat on revenue also, and they beat on results of their current gaming, but they came in with lower than expected guidance for the quarter. And so I think maybe that's rolling over to Activision. Well, as I say that, Dave, we just went from red to green at Take-Two. They were down like 1%. Now they're up 0.4%. So it's one of those things that you just don't know. It's very fluid. And so they're actually up right now, 0.4%. So
I was going to say I've got Activision on my list, and I was showing them off. I didn't have Take-Two, but you're right. Sector concerns can cream an industry, even when they had a good quarter in their own right. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Because as an industry, they start to look at all the different players in that industry, and if one does well and a lot of them do bad, then that definitely reflects on the one that did good and starts to pull it down.
We saw that happen to travel stocks yesterday, so now it's happening to gaming stocks today.
Today, yeah. I got two more for you, Dave. I got two different industries totally. Got Zillow in the real estate industry, online real estate stuff, and they lost 12 cents a share, which was much better than expected. They were expected to lose like 21 cents a share. Their website's revenue came in above estimates, and they gave an upbeat forecast, which is always a good thing. And they're trading up almost 10% this morning.
Cool.
And then the last one I have today is Dropbox. Dropbox is that file sharing service. They came in 2 cents ahead of estimates. Their revenue was also ahead of estimates. They're benefiting from a new app that they developed to put on their desktop, which makes sharing even easier. And they've got a new collaboration software that they've got too that's helping some of their folks out there. So they're trading up a little over 1.5% this morning.
Cool. Anything in cloud storage that lets you differentiate yourself from the big boys got to help in the process, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because that's become a big deal, from IBM to the ones that have the IPOs we've seen, and Dropbox and Box.com. That becomes a huge deal.
Absolutely. Resetting the table for this morning. Yesterday was without a doubt a good day. Dow was up 182, Nasdaq up by just under 24, and the Standard and Poor's up by about 8.5. All of them included at least intraday all-time record highs. Combining up kind of a set of reports this morning, along with the fact that there's some doubt as to how much the tariff relief is actually going to be included in the Chinese trade deal. And a little bit of profit taking might be in there as well. I'm not seeing a lot of green this morning, 45 minutes early, Philip. What are you seeing so far?
No, there's really not a lot of green here. Actually, there's no green in the indexes, Dave. The Dow's down, well, you say it's flat. It's down $1 right now. Same with the S&P 500. It's down $3, and the Nasdaq's down 14. So on the stock front, we're seeing definitely some downward pressure. Gold and silver are also down. Gold's down to $1,461 an ounce, down 1/3%. Silver's down below 17 at $16.85 an ounce, down almost 1%. And we've got crude oil down 1.5% to $56.28 a barrel, Dave. So some things there are heading down on that front. Dave, can I tell you, listeners out there today, they need to be concerned. We've seen some big, huge upticks today. If I were you, I'd be trying to find out what is the risk number of your current portfolio to make sure you don't have too much risk. So, hey, what are we doing overseas, Dave?
Absolutely. Overseas markets, by and large, are mixed in Asia. Europe generally trading down today. That kind of addresses what I wanted to ask you. The Treasury notes are going way up, which means we got a lot of people moving out of bonds and into equities. The big money guys can afford to do that, but we were talking before we went on the air about that fear of missing out formula that tends toward really shafting over amateurs every time there's a run-up. How do I get a hold of you in order to avoid having temptation cost me big time on my retirement?
Then give us a call at 863-382-0037. That's a great point, Dave, because too much risk can cost you. That's what happened in 08. Give us a call. Let us run our financial x-ray review of your current portfolio to make sure you don't have too much risk heading into the weeks to come. And then join us every weekend for the Statler Financial radio show, where we dive down on some specific topics dealing with retirement and retirement planning. You can catch us at 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on News Talk 730 a.m.
All righty. Streaming always at newstalk730am.com. And a reminder, because the Gator game is running early tomorrow, we'll do 6 o'clock on Saturday and then 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. We got to take noon off. Fair enough?
Fair enough, man. It won't be much longer, and we'll have it all three, no problem.
And we'll be into basketball, and we won't have that problem. Thank you so very much, and we'll catch you Monday, Phillip.
All right, man. Have a great one.
Take care. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Have you done?
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a great weekend. Mondays is Veterans Day. For all you veterans out there, thank you for your service. You are greatly appreciated in our community. Have a great weekend. I look forward to speaking to you on Tuesday, because Monday's Veterans Day. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.